Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna go through the portfolio itself and as well as go through the recent market updates and the recent events that I've mentioned in my last video, which is the unemployment claims and unemployment rate, right? So before we get started, everything here is not financial advice, right? It's meant for you to kind of learn how I'm actually trading options and to create this income generation portfolio. And before we get started, I do help me smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so that you get these time sensitive updates as soon as I've published them. Right. So if we look over here at the portfolio and how it's doing, right, it's currently sitting at 51,530.75 as compared to the 50,000 capital that we have put in 6 days ago, right? And some of that change has fallen into my lap unexpectedly, or it's not part of the trading portfolio, which is this position right here. So when I sign up for this account, I actually used a referral code from another person, right? And that gave me these 2.8 shares of IBKR. So it's their own shares. I'm not able to sell this within 1 year from receiving this. So it has to be held in the portfolio. So that make up around an additional $415, $416 added to this portfolio, right? Okay, so then let's go through the two other positions that have occurred, that we have taken, um, we have opened so far, which is the Amazon 175 put, which is currently sitting at $66 up in unrealized profits. And for Google, the 155 put, which is sitting at $86.60 up in unrealized profits, right? So if you look over here, the market value is actually negative. Why is this so? It's because that the cash has already been deposited, right? When you sell the premium, the cash is received as upfront, right? And added to the net liquidity. So this is essentially the obligation or the liability that you have as time goes past. And if Amazon remains above 175 and Google remains above 155, then these market value will slowly go to zero over time, and then it'll be here in the unrealized gains, right? So if we look at the performance of how we are doing so far, we are up 3.11% within the last 6 days of this portfolio opening. And so I think we are still on track with how this portfolio is performing, right? So the next thing I want to go through is the unemployment claims, right? So as you can see here, unemployment claims was actually um 225K as compared to the forecasted, which is 222K. So it's slightly above what was forecasted, but as I've mentioned in my last video, there's a lot of nuances when it comes to looking at all these numbers, right? So you don't want the claims to be that low above the forecasted, because that means that the market is strong and then the Federal Reserve might not come out and actually cut the interest rates, right? So you do want it to be somewhat bad, but not so bad, so that the economy is still strong and the Federal Reserve can still cut rates and justify cutting rates, right? So unemployment claims came in at 225,000, right? And for the unemployment rate, so that was actually a positive to the markets, right? Forecasted was 4.2% unemployment rate, but it's coming down to 4.1%, right? So this is a good change. It means that less people are unemployed, or the at least the numbers are trending downwards, right? So that's good for the markets. And it remains to be seen whether the Federal Reserve will consider all this and decide on how much rates to cut. But looking at the forecast so far, right, we have a 97.4% chance that on 7th of November they will cut the rates by 25%, and there is a 2.6% chance that they will not cut the rates, right? So uh, the markets are favoring that there will be a rate cuts. So if anything less, we'll probably see the markets take a dive down temporarily, right? So if we go and look at the charts, okay, sorry, this is Bitcoin. Let's go to the SPY first. Right. So if we look at the S&P 500 over here, we are in the midst of making all-time high. And I think the markets are generally looking towards um the FOMC, right? When they cut rates or not. So I think it's still strong, as you can see on Friday itself, when the unemployment rates came out slightly positive, we took a kind of more downwards momentum for the initial period, but we managed to close back up at this level again. So the markets look strong as of now, and the re-inverting of the yield curve does not seem to have much impact on the market so far, but that remains to be seen, right? So you still have to give the market some time before we can actually see the effects of all this taking place. Yeah, so that's about it for the two events, right? So if we go to the income generating portfolio, as you can see, the portfolio is trending upwards, and now we are currently sitting at about 52,000, right? So for this month, as you can see, we have two options open, and these will be expiring on the 15th of November. So all things considered, I think we're still doing pretty fine in terms of um the portfolio, the income generating portfolio, right? So maybe to spice things up, because a main big portion of my portfolio is also trading cryptocurrencies. Um, let's take a look at cryptocurrencies out there, right? So so far, nothing worthy to note. We have been trending in this parallel channel for quite a while now. So we've been in this channel all the way from March, and now we are already in October, right? And we have been essentially going at this channel for 6 months, right? So this is a huge bull flag if you know the pattern, which means that it usually trends downwards and it has a higher probability of breaking towards the upside over here, because it's actually distributing, right? Waiting for traders to get impatient over on this market, and then the market makers will then load up their position and push the price towards the upside. There's also a line in the middle of this channel that acts as quite good resistance and support. And as you can see, we have been bouncing off that support and going upwards. So I've actually moved my crypto trading portfolio over to Coinbase, right? So that's because I felt that Coinbase has more tools in line with trading cryptocurrencies. So previously I was using Gemini, and there is no stop loss or take profits area that you can utilize, but in Coinbase there is. Okay. So I will also give updates to this cryptocurrencies portfolio on this channel, so you guys can come stay up to date, or if you're trading cryptos, you can follow my positions as well. So I funded this account with 12,000 Sing dollars, right? As you can see, I'm up $389. So it's a relatively new portfolio. I've only funded 12,000 as so far. I would see in the future if I want to fund a bit more into crypto, right? So I still believe that we are maybe about 50% or 60% in the bull cycle already. So I've taken off the table most of my profits, especially from the previous um, Gemini trading portfolio that I've realized about 30,000 odd dollars from that portfolio itself. Right. So um I think the market generally I've made more markets or made more profits on Bitcoin from the start of the first half of the bull markets. As you can see that Bitcoin dominance has been increasing. So if I show you this chart over here, Bitcoin dominance has been increasing as compared to the other altcoins, right? So this chart basically says it's better to be in Bitcoin as compared to altcoins, right? So, but I believe this will be stalling out and the markets will be transitioning into the altcoins. And um, uh, my preferred altcoin is Solana, right? So if you can go to my TikTok and you look at my previous videos, I've essentially been trading Bitcoin and Solana mainly, right? So Solana has been slightly weaker than Bitcoin in terms of price action, right? Especially over this past 6 months, right? So I believe that the money will then flow back into altcoins for the last spurt of the bull market for cryptocurrencies. So that's why I'm focusing more on altcoins and Solana in particular. So if you can see here, um, this is 50,000, oh, sorry, 50 Solana, leverage is 5x. I still have pretty much liquidation buffer of 1,000%, and my liquidation price is $39, right? Close to 40 USD. Okay, the average entry is $138, and we're currently sitting at $143, and we're up $232 for this position. And for Bitcoin, I've entered a little bit. Average entry is at 60,771. So I was dollar cost averaging as it was dropping down. Um, so yeah, average entry. Sorry, I think that was not the yeah, average entry was 60,700. So if we look at the charts, it's 60,700 is around this range, right? So this, as I've mentioned, is pretty good support. So I won't mind loading up around this area and wait for it to go up. So for this portion or for this position, I'll mainly be holding it until I see a relatively strong uptrend to the upside. So the next area to look at would be this resistance line, which it has been rejected off quite a few times, right? Yeah, so things change, and I wouldn't say for sure I will not be taking profits, but hopefully I will build up a position to ride the end portions of this bull market phase. Yeah, so that's about it for this video, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.